Hello, my distinguished friend.
Oh, you've noticed. So, we were joking before this morning about, why do we call things what they're not? And I was admiring, my the oldness of my beard, and Tom said it's very distinguished. And I'm like, that's another word of saying old.
Well, we're all about reframing things, right?
Right. Reframing.
Yeah. It's what was the other one? It's charming and cozy.
No, it's old and small.
It's old and small. Hey, okay.
How was the family over the weekend for Easter? Oh, it was interesting.
It was
Oh,
interesting.
you mean a
That means
train
it
wreck?
sucks shit.
It was interesting.
Well, I hope that you guys out there who are listening, whenever you are, this is Good Friday for us, leading into Easter weekend. So we're, making the plans to, maybe engage in some traditions or be with family or not do anything at all, whatever your thing is. So I hope that you are going to enjoy your Easter weekend, or that you did if you're listening to this after the fact. But thank you,
Mhm.
of course, for being here and listening to us and sending in your questions. Today, we wanted to address a topic that has come to light for many people. And I don't think we even need to read a lot of the questions, but I think this episode will help out tremendously because the running theme has been a reluctance to change. People want to change. They don't like certain elements about themselves or their life, but they just can't seem to do it. And maybe we can help by offering some guidance and some things to chew on or to think about, to marinate on over the
Mhm.
next couple of days so that you can actually make some change. Previously, we talked about the stages of change, and we don't have to touch too much on that, but let's talk about what it actually takes for you to make some changes in your life and why you might not be changing
Mhm.
as fast as you'd really like to.
Why is it so difficult to make changes? You mean our heads are there, our thoughts are there. This is what I want to do. Why do I have such a hard time implementing those changes? And I'll give you a real life example of what is going on with me. Tom and I, when we lived close, worked out every morning, 5 mornings a week for years, 4 years.
Mhm.
I mean, without fail. There was probably two handfuls of days that we did not work out in 4 years.
Right. Even if it was cold here in Florida, which is
Right,
70.
right. Yeah, which is at 70, right? Those steel bars got cold at 70. Um, and then I moved away, and I still love to work out. I need to do it every morning, and I'm averaging 2 to 3 days a week. I
Mhm.
mean, and I know it's good for me. I know the health benefits. I know the mental benefits of doing this, and I know I need to get back into doing it. And at the first, I said I'll take a little break. I've been doing this for 4 years. I can give my body a good rest. I'm moving anyway, and I'm packing boxes and
Mhm.
setting up a new house. So that's fine. But I'll get back into it. And I have set the intention several times over the last several months of doing this for at least 4 to 5 mornings a week. And
Mhm.
I'm averaging two to three.
Sounds good, right?
It sounds great. I mean, there is, and I have the time, I have the equipment. I mean, there is zero excuse. And I just have not been able to make that change. And why is that? What is impeding me from doing that?
Right. What gets in the way?
What gets in the way? My head gets in the way. So it's not a habit. For me, it's not a habit yet. When you and I are working out every morning, it was a habit. I didn't even think about it. I
Right.
opened my alarm went off every morning, my eyes opened up, and I was on automatic pilot. I went up, I had coffee, I turned on the news, went and did my constitution in the bathroom. I got dressed and I was at your house at a specific time every morning. I didn't think about it. There was no, oh, I don't feel like it today. Oh, but I really should be doing this instead. Oh, the pool needs to be cleaned. Oh, let me bathe the dog. Oh,
Right.
there was I'd never had those thoughts in my head
Mhm.
because it was a habit and there was nothing to consider. I just need to get put this is there's no such thing as motivation. If you're sitting around waiting for motivation, it's never coming.
No.
News break, it's never coming. What there is no motivation, what there is habits. So form a habit.
Mhm. Also, where was the word? I just had it. It's out there in the ether. Let me grab. Let me grab onto it. Well, when we engage in the habits, it's there's no really emotions involved with it. It's just automatic, autopilot. We just do the things, whether we want to or not. There were so many days with the workout where like my back was hurting. I'm getting older, like I know if we had a training schedule and I need to get under the bar with a certain amount of weight, I don't really want to try to push that weight. I want to make it easier on myself, but I'm going to anyway because, Brett's coming and he's going to hold me accountable. And there was even mornings when we pretty much just had a second cup of coffee and shot the shit, and moved the weights that I had moved out into the driveway. We just moved them back in, and that was the workout.
Mhm.
But we
That
shot
wasn't usually the case.
it.
Those were rare exceptions, but we did that absolutely.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
was the habit. We were up, we were dressed, we were there, we were ready to do it.
Yeah. Whether you want to or not, this is what we do. And as long as you can make those things habitual, then you'll do them and you'll see change over time. And I think that's what also gets in the way is that we want to make a big change and we know what the goal is, kind of. Sometimes we don't really know what the full goal is. I just want to be healthier. I just want to lose weight, or I just want to, like
Mhm.
not be as angry all the time, or I want to be less anxious, or, whatever the case. And then we decide on a plan. We pick a program. We say, I'm going to work out 5 days a week. I'm going to go to therapy once a week. I'm going to, do all these things. And then you do it for 2 or 3 weeks and you don't see any change. And in fact, you've had to sacrifice time with family, times with the dogs, money. You've had to buy new gym shorts and all these things, and you don't see any difference after 3 weeks. And so you get discouraged and you say, screw it. We're creatures of comfort. We want to be comfortable all the time. I mean, this is our bodies work this way physiologically. We want to maintain homeostasis or balance, and comfort is the easiest way to do that. We don't want to introduce a stimulus that is going to make us uncomfortable. And so this is what it takes in order to make changes. We have to be uncomfortable. We have to be in a degree of discomfort, pain, difficulty. We have to challenge ourselves, and we don't really want to do that.
Hmm. For sure. You could bring up a great concept of homeostasis, and that's how our brains operate. It wants to go back to what we know. We're an accumulation of our experiences, and we do say and behave in ways that we have adapted over time, right? So, the thing with therapy is, and the thing with being a human being is our brains are hardwired to learn new things.
Yeah.
We are very good as human beings of learning new things. Where we fall short time and time again is unlearning bad habits.
Hmm.
So, the brain returns, like I said, to homeostasis. It's going to go back to what it knows. So
Hmm.
the thing that we do with people is teach them new habits, new ways of thinking, and then reinforcing that so that it becomes a habit.
Hmm.
If and I think people can realize that or see that in their lives is when you're in a conversation with somebody or you're interacting with somebody, you don't think about what you're really going to say. You have automatic responses. People say
Yeah.
hello and you say good morning and you go back and forth and we are automatic responses. So take a look at those automatic responses. Are they still serving you well? And if
Yeah.
they're not, create a habit of changing.
And think about how long you engaged in those old habits. Even if you adopt a new habit, let's say you've never done yoga before in your entire life and you decide, I'm going to do yoga. And so you do yoga for 3 months and that feels really good. You're feeling more flexible. You're feeling that meditative process happening where you can actually like be in the present moment and that feels really good. You haven't done yoga for 40 years, right? And
Mhm.
so even though you've done it for 3 months and it's become a habit, it's not going to be as robust. Something is going to come along and shake you, whether that's a trauma or a loss in your life, and you're going to go back to that old way of behaving. Oh, I don't have time for it. I'm not going to do it today. I'm not going to do it this week. You know what? Hey, remember that thing I used to do? Oh, yeah, I was trying to do yoga for a while, but I haven't done it now in 3 months. It takes
Mhm,
time. It takes not only getting into the habit of doing that, but not having excuses. This is just something new that I do, and it's going to take time. If you have smoked cigarettes or drank alcohol to unwind or to relax or to be sociable, and you've done that for 20, 30 years, to try to play pickleball instead or paddleboarding or, just drink coffee or something, like that, you might get into the habit of doing that for a couple of months, but if something comes along that rocks you, you're probably going to go back to the old ways of doing things, the things that were comfortable, the things that you had built and reinforced time and time again. So think about those things that you have been doing for a long period of time. That's your comfort. And so, in order to not go back to that, you have to build not only new habits, a compelling why you're engaging in those new, healthier
mhm,
habits, and then you have to be consistent.
mhm. And the other piece that I think really served me well is accountability, right? I showed up every morning whether I wanted to or not. Well, it was a habit. I never even thought about whether I wanted to or not, but because I knew the expectation and I would not let Tom down. I was there every
Yeah.
morning because I had somebody that was holding me accountable. Because if I didn't show up, I'd get the text of WTF, what are you doing?
Yeah. And I had to get up, because I knew you were coming. You held me accountable. I got to get up. Brett's coming. I got to put the stuff on the board. I got to put the weights out. I got, like
Mhm,
he's coming, I would love, man. I was sleeping so good right when that alarm went off, but
mhm.
he's coming. I got to make the espresso, right?
The most important part of working out is espresso.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think those are the two keys of, people that want to make, everyone wants to make a change in their life, a small change, a big change, whatever that change is. And it's forming a habit and accountability. How do you hold yourself accountable?
Yeah.
It's nice to have an accountability partner, somebody else that is actually holding you accountable, but figure out ways to hold yourself accountable, right? I have different ways that I do that. I keep track of lots of stuff on my phone. So I know how much I've worked out. I know what, I can look back at the week and go, boy, you're a slimy piece of poop. I can't
Hmm.
believe, you got 2 days in this week. All right. So next week we're gonna do the five. So the
Hmm.
other thing is I love and I've done this several times in my life. I'm not currently using this technique, but I have dry erase markers that I use on my bathroom mirror.
Hmm.
So I have to look at it every time I'm washing my face and brushing my teeth and
Yeah.
going, wow, you are what you did do. Look at what you did do, celebrate that, and look what you
Yeah.
didn't do. And you need to improve on that. So think of ways. How do you hold yourself accountable? How do you develop accountability partner? Even if maybe what I need to do is I just need to text Tom every morning. Did it, did it, did it.
Right? Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So
because remember when we were going to do the rowing and then just send the scores, like back and forth, and like that could be a way. I mean, that didn't necessarily work regarding that, but like that could be a helpful thing if you've got a partner, even if it's remote, and hey, I did my 20 minutes of rowing today. Here's
mhm,
my time or my meters or like.
mhm,
Hey, send me a picture of your breakfast and your lunch and your dinner, what kinds of food are
mhm,
you eating, and that holds you accountable, and they send yours,
mhm.
Hey, this is my weigh-in.
Yeah,
Mhm.
these were my numbers.
Yeah.
Or I got my numbers today, but I got them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So.
we have to do this every single day as therapists. We have to roll with the resistance, reluctance to change, and we
Mhm,
try to move people into that making positive change. And we usually do that very, very well with with some minor challenges, but we've been doing this a long time, so we know what it takes. We know what the mechanisms are for change, and we understand not only personally, but all the people that we've dealt with, why change can be really hard. And people do have fears related to it. Fear of failure, fear of success. Ooh, that's a big one. Fear that they're not going to be perfect. And don't worry about any of those things. Just start making some changes and you can build from there. Even if you fall, even if you fail, even if things don't work out the way you thought they were going to work out, it's okay because you made some moves moving forward. Think about being stuck right now. If you don't do anything because you feel like it's going to be too hard or you're going to sweat too much or um, what's the limiting results of me engaging in these healthy habits, the diminishing returns or what, if you don't do anything, then nothing is going to change, right?
Right.
So what if you just do something small over the next year? What are you going to look like? What are you going to feel like? How are you going to react in situations? You might be
Well,
a
I
better
think,
version of yourself next year, even if you don't see it right away.
right. And you bring up a great concept of fear of success and fear of failure. So, and break that down a little bit. What that essentially means is we have pictured in our head, okay, if I work out every morning, for 6 months, then I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to look great. My shirts are going to fit better.
Yeah.
My arms are going to tighten up. My chest is going to get tight. So we have this picture of things in the future. So that fear of failure or fear of success, the fear of failure is what if I do it for 6 months and nothing changes? Well, then, or what if I don't, what if I don't do it? What if I do it and I don't get the changes that I want? I'm
Right.
comfortable where I'm at, obviously. So
Yeah.
if I just stay the way I am, I don't have expectations of success or failure because
Hmm.
there's things that come along with success and failure, different
Right.
emotions, different feelings, different thoughts, different.
Don't worry, you're going to adapt to those changes.
Mhm.
Trust me. I saw a great TikTok and this young lady was um, in like a CrossFit type gym and she said, here's the best way to get in ready for summer. I guess like the thing is, hey, it's summertime. We want to get our summer, whatever, you know, um, hot girl summer, whatever. And she said, this is the first thing you need to do. Start 365 days ago and work your ass off.
Right, for
Like,
sure.
like just start now. If you want to be different tomorrow, like you got to start right now today. Don't wait for something magical. Don't look for a quick and easy fix. You just start right now today. Do something that's going to propel you. That's something positive for you, for you. Something kind and loving for yourself today. Something that is going to facilitate change tomorrow, next week, next month, next year.
Mhm.
Right now. What are you going to do? You're gonna sit there, not do anything,
Right,
think about what could be.
right. And, people, when they have a small failure, it turns into a big failure, right? We talk about, depending on your age, you remember the old kids game Shoots and Ladders, right? You
Oh yeah.
take the ladders up and then something happens and you take a shoot, right? So there's small
Ooh.
shoots where you go back a little bit, and then there
Yeah.
was the big shoot where you went right back to the beginning. So
Back to
I,
start.
yeah, don't take the big shoot. It's okay to not have success all the time. So
Yeah.
take a small shoot. So, an example of, my goal is to work out 5 mornings a week, right? And then if something happens and I don't do it on a Wednesday morning, I work out Monday, I work out Tuesday, but I miss Wednesday for some reason. That's
Yeah.
not an excuse to, oh, well, see, I screwed up this week, so I'll just restart on Monday. Monday being the magical day. No, I missed Wednesday, but Thursday, Friday, I'm at it. So I had 4 out of 5 instead of 2 out of 5.
Mhm.
The big shoot would be I'll just wait till Monday. We've talked about this before. What is the magic of being of a Monday? Why do we have to start everything on a Monday?
Right. It's the worst day.
It's the worst day.
It's like the worst day.
Don't start things on Monday.
Right. But
Don't
we
start
do
on
it. We all
Friday
do it.
either.
Well, and
Wednesday's a
then
great day.
then we are that mind, remember, it starts to convince ourselves it's Friday. I'm going into the weekend. It's Easter weekend. Oh, we're
Right.
going to have delicious food and desserts and all that. And we're going to be around family. And I know that's challenging. So I'm going to want to drink and I'm going to want to,
Hmm.
not do healthy stuff for me because my schedule's all thrown out of whack. I don't get to just sit and watch Netflix all weekend. So I'm not going to start that new healthy thing right now. I'm going to wait till Monday. No, do it now. Just start it now.
Hmm.
And it doesn't have to be this huge, big blowout. You don't have to reduce your caloric intake to 1,200 calories and work out for 3 hours every day and then, like eat raw broccoli or like just start
Right.
with something small, something little. And in any one of those areas, sleep, nutrition, exercise, water, daily schedule, just make one positive change in those areas. Uh,
Hmm.
Maybe one for each or one for a couple of them. Like just, make sure you're drinking enough water. Like set a
Right.
goal for yourself, 50 ounces of water per day, and just do
Hmm.
that and see what happens. 50
Yeah.
kettlebell swings per day. Just do
Right.
that. See what happens.
Right.
5 sun salutations for yoga. Just do that every day without fail, no matter what, no matter how you're feeling, whether you want to do it in the morning or in the evening, whatever. Just do that and see what happens over the next couple of weeks.
Right. So, my goal is to do cardio and push some weights 5 mornings a week. And instead of, hey, I don't have time or I can't do it this morning, I can, but you know what? I have to get myself in the habit. So walk around the block and push weights for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've spent 15 minutes instead of my regular hour. I didn't have an hour, but I devoted 15 minutes. Everyone can find 15 minutes.
Hmm.
Right? So
Yes.
even if you don't reach your full goal for the day, or we talk with a lot of people that want to change their eating habits, right? And I'm gonna eat baked chicken and steamed broccoli every day, for the rest of my life. Well, that's
Yeah.
unrealistic. And the
Yeah.
most success I've had with people on that want to lose weight is portion control. Eat whatever
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah.
Can't eat crap all the time, but continue the same diet that you've had, but cut it in half or cut a third out of it and
Hmm.
just reduce your portion size, right? And leave stuff on your plate and scrape it away. And remember, all of us clean plate kids that you know we had to finish our plates before we were. I had to before we were excused from dinner. You know what? You don't have those rules anymore. You don't. You
Hmm.
could throw food in the garbage. You don't have to eat it all.
Right. The best habit truly is the one that you can see yourself doing every day for the rest of your life.
Hmm. Hmm.
Not just I'm going to do this one thing for the next 3 months and it's going to be really hard, but then I'm going to like who I become at the end of it. You might engage in that and like who you become after 3 months, but you're not going to stick with it and you're going to go back to the old ways of being.
Right. If you ate 3 pieces of pizza for dinner in the past, eat 2 pieces.
Hmm.
you know? So
Right.
realistic goals, but do something and stick to it. Whatever your goals are is, watching what you eat or exercising or whatever your goals are, gratitude, do some meditation every day, or some mindfulness, whatever mindfulness means to you. We've had lots of conversations of what that means.
Mhm.
Mindfulness means putting the world on pause for 10 minutes and just focusing on being present. So if your goal is to do that for a half hour a day, but you only have 5 minutes, do 5 minutes. Don't just skip the goal for the day.
Please do something. Hell, journal. Just take 5 minutes to journal every single day. See what happens.
Yeah.
If at the end of the year you're like, yeah, I was journaling every day and I wrote 2 lines and they were the same thing on a repeat, um, what did you learn from that experience? It sucked. I didn't really want to do it, but whatever, I did it. Maybe you can at least be proud of yourself that you stuck to it for a
Mhm.
year. Maybe it wasn't the actual journeying or the content that you write. Maybe it was just you building some self-confidence in the fact that you set a goal and you stuck to it.
Right.
Huge.
There's
If you can do
complete
that,
value in that.
you can do
Yeah.
something else.
There's a lot of value in that. Tom, how many times have you and I had the conversation about someone struggling with anxiety, depression, whatever? And we're like, tell me about the last time in your life where things were really going well and you were together and this anxiety or depression wasn't haunting you as much as it is today. well, it was like a couple years ago, and I was journaling every day, and I was exercising, and I was eating right, and maybe not all those things. I was just journaling every day. I practiced gratitude every morning, and it really was helpful. And I'm like, oh, okay, so why aren't you doing that now?
Uh,
Oh, well, I just stopped doing it. And oh, so you have been successful in the past, and you know what makes you successful, but we've just abandoned all hope. And so please, Brett, give me 5 new strategies on what I can do to resolve this anxiety. Oh,
Oh, that's the thing. You know what you need to be doing. There are so many people, I mean, the majority who come in and they say, I know what I need to be doing. I'm just not doing it.
right.
That's your
So,
reluctance to change. And we have
what
to
is the
explore why.
roadblock? What is standing in your way from doing what you know needs to be done?
Yeah. Mhm. And that's what we
Fear,
have to tackle.
the fear of
That's what you have
success,
to tackle.
fear of failure, fear of commitment.
Yeah.
I don't have time. You have time to scroll on TikTok for an hour a day.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Mm,
Sometimes more than that.
right. You have time to make, desserts and cookies and all this stuff. You have time to do that, but you don't have time to bake some chicken.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
don't have time to eat healthy.
Yeah.
I don't, eating healthy is so expensive. I don't have the money for it. But you got money for a bag of chocolates at $12 a bag now.
Yep. And you got into an argument with Janice on Facebook about politics for the past 3 hours today.
Right. So how did that serve you?
Right? Yeah. Hmm. So if you really put your mind to it and you set forth those goals, you can accomplish more than you think you can.
Hmm.
You can push yourself harder than you think that you can.
Sure. All
That,
right, Tom, I'm motivated. I'm gonna text you every morning or every day. I did it. I
uh-huh.
did it or I didn't do it. And that's code for I did my 5 workouts this week.
Right. Hey, if like doing 50 kettlebell swings is the goal as an example, or whatever else your example might be, then why don't you get an accountability partner
Uh-huh.
and videotape yourself doing it, you
All
know,
right.
or at least one of the sets, videotape yourself doing one of the sets and send it to
Uh-huh.
your partner.
Right.
Look, here's
Absolutely.
set one or set five or whatever. A 20-second video of me doing my swings or whatever that thing is, you know. Here's
Hey,
me eating
Tom.
some healthy food. Here's the
Tom,
picture.
I'm gonna start Monday.
Yeah, it's Easter. Wait till
Right. I can't do it this weekend. It's Easter.
Monday.
I'm gonna be too busy shoving chocolate bunnies down my throat.
Right.
Cadbury mini eggs.
Uh-huh. Bark, 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 bark,
All
bark.
right. Oh, but Monday I got to go to the store and buy all the Easter candy left over at half price.
Yeah. Hmm.
No, I'll be
When's Memorial Day? Is Memorial Day coming up too? Like the
May
following weekend?
the last Monday in May.
Yeah. Anyway.
All
All
right,
right.
so I'm gonna commit to doing 5 days a week between Easter and Memorial Day. Uh-huh. There we go.
Yeah.
And I'll text you every morning. No, every day before noon.
All right. Love it. Sounds good.
All right, so we've set an intention, we've set a goal, we have accountability, and I'm creating a habit.
Yes. Let's get it.
Will working out 5 days a week make my beard not so salt and peppery?
No, it's perfect just the way that it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Happy Easter, Bok Bok.
Same to you. And we'll see you guys soon.
All right.